So every week we interview a person in the business or somebody who's a political leader or somebody who can help you understand the real estate market and the economy. And today our guest is Jenea Kennedy, who is an agent at Engel & Volkers Atlanta and is the 2020 president of the Cobb Association of REALTORS. Welcome to the back to the show, Jenea. It's great to have you back with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
You were on the show, went back in before COVID, and basically you've joined Engel & Volkers since you were on the show back in, when did you join Engel & Volkers? In March or February was that?
It was the end of February when we joined, and I believe I was on the show in January, so just after coming on.
Okay, great. Well, a lot has happened since you were on the show, Jenea.
Yes.
Jenea was the 2014 Realtor of the Year for the Cobb Association of Realtors, and in 2000, that same year, you won the Young Achievers Award for the Georgia Association of Realtors. And ever since then, you've been on a phenomenal course. Now, you just recently sold, by I understand, and we were talking earlier, a home for $15 million, you and your team, which was the largest residential sale in the last 4 years. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, can you just help people understand the function of the Cobb Association of Realtors and maybe distinguish it from the First Multiple Listing Service?
Sure. So the Cobb Association of Realtors is a group of realtors. It's a membership organization. We fall under the National Association of Realtors as well as the Georgia Association of Realtors. So this is, you have your local associations, you have your state, and then you have the National Association of Realtors. So in order to be a member of the state or National Association of Realtors, you have to be affiliated with a local group. And so the Cobb Association is that group. And what we do, you know, each association, of course, is going to have a mission. And so our mission is to advance the rights of property owners. And we do that through our lobbying efforts. We also advance the prosperity of our community, and we do that through our community outreach programs. We do a lot of great things in the community. Another thing is we want to advance the integrity of our profession, and we do that by hosting a series of classes to include the Code of Ethics, courses, and license law. And then lastly, we want to advance the success of our members. So we do that by bringing in, you know, great speakers that come and talk to us about industry related things. You know, we've had Chairman Boyce, the chairman of Cobb County. We've had our real estate commissioner come, Lynn Dipsey. So we do a lot of things to help the community and our members.
So, Jenea, I'd just like to give everybody a very quick update on the state of the market. The prices for sales actually for Atlanta have been, so far year to date, are down 2% actually, but prices are up 4% for the year. The key startling figure is inventory, and that's down 40%. And
yes.
So why do you think that, what's going on with that anyway? How do you account for that?
It's like I always say it's almost like being stuck on 285. You're just going around and around. You don't have a lot of inventory. Interest rates are so low. So you have a high demand, you know, of buyers out here, but sellers aren't putting their house on the market because there's nothing for them to buy. So it's like, come on, sellers, you know, if you are thinking about moving, go ahead and you know, list your home. And maybe you try to work out something, you know, a lease back or something with the buyer so that we can get some inventory. for these buyers, I mean, to take advantage of these low interest rates. We don't know what's going to happen with the rates in the next few months. And so I think if anyone has any desire to sell, now is the time.
Now, over the last 5 years, Jenea, the price of homes in the metro area for average detached homes is up 34%. The median price, or the average price, is $300,000 versus $222,500 5 years ago. That's a 34% increase. And I like to tell investors that if they bought a house 5 years ago and put just 10% down and rented it out, that 10% down would have grown 231% in 5 years, just based on the 10% down. So, it's pretty hard to beat that investment. And on Cobb County, the story is even better. The price of homes for detached homes for average, according to FMLS, is up 40% in the last 5 years. The average price in Cobb County is $345,000 versus $248,000, or a 40% increase in 5 years. So basically, your investment, if you put 10% down on a Cobb County home, your investment would have gone up 291%. So it's pretty hard to beat investment in real estate. Jenea, let me just ask you this. The topic of COVID-19 is on everybody's mind. How has that affected the real estate industry in your observation?
So initially, I was monitoring the market, and there were some sellers who put their house on hold, which meant that they still want to sell, they just wanted to stop the showings. Since, March, a lot, those listings that have been placed on hold have come back, and people, quite frankly, they've sold because there is no inventory. So I think as we have continued to learn about the virus, and we have put in, best practices such as wearing masks. In some cases, sellers want you to wear gloves or shoe coverings when you're entering their home. They encourage the use of sanitizer. So I think most people are comfortable again allowing showings, but I haven't really seen a dramatic decrease because it is such a strong market right now. A lot of people are just wearing the PPE and business as usual.
Well, the inventory being down is a kind of a deterrent to sales growth, but it has just functioned to increase prices, old supply and demand formula. And what kind of advice would you like to give to buyers and sellers in this environment?
So it's I'm glad you asked that question. Sellers, they are not. You can get away with not doing everything that you would have normally had to do in this market because there's lack of inventory. So most people are just so excited to find something that they can work with. So I have had very different conversations with clients. Prior to this market, I would have suggested, be sure to paint, be sure to fix this and fix the trim or fix your screens. But in this current market, we don't have to do any repairs almost, and buyers are still going to come and do it on their own. So my conversations with sellers are very different these days. And I just want to encourage sellers that if you think that you may want to move, or you think that you may want to find a different type of property because you've been sitting in the house, and, with COVID, people are discovering that they have different housing needs. And go ahead and try to put your house on the market. With buyers, the rates are so low right now. it's almost, like crazy if you don't go out there and buy right now. However, you should be prepared to have your own closing costs and your own down payment, of course, because sellers are not negotiating like they used to, and they don't have to because there's low inventory. So, there's more demand than there is supply, which means that the sellers don't have to be as flexible. And so as long as you're a buyer and you're prepared financially, go for it. Now's a great time to buy, but know that you're going to have to come in with some of your own money, more than what you would have in the past. And you may have to do some repairs as well.
We have a situation because of that big decrease in multiple offer in inventory, whereby most agents are experiencing a situation where you have multiple offers. What kind of advice do you give to people in that situation, which seemed to be fairly commonplace now?
Yes, I personally do, highest and best calls for highest and best offers. My sellers have typically just selected the best offer. And I think people have to understand that the best offer may not be the highest price, because I have a list that I received maybe 30 offers in 2 days, and someone offered us $25,000 above the list price. Well, that may sound great, but it was unrealistic. So you don't want to offer something that is not reasonable or realistic. You should also focus on the other terms of the offer. Terms being how many days you want to ask for due diligence, how quickly, when can you close? You want closing costs. So there are other pieces of an offer that can make it more attractive than just the sales price. And buyers, you may want to write a personal letter to the seller and just explain to them what what you felt about their home. You tug at the seller's heartstrings. That may be the difference between your offer and someone else's offer. And a lot of people are getting confused with cash offers. They think that they're, instant the winner, but sometimes cash is not the best offer to take because it just doesn't meet the seller's needs. If I was a seller, I would say, don't jump at the highest offer. Make sure you're looking at all of the terms and that you're accepting them reasonable.
What do you tell your buyers with respect to appraised value versus this tremendous demand we have? And do you make offers? Do you recommend to people to make offers even though it's above appraised value? Or how do you reconcile the demand with the appraised values?
It's a challenge because you all know that buyers truly determine market value, but you also have to, be reasonable. I want to just continue to stress that. So I handle it on a case-by-case basis. I always want to look at all of terms of the offer. I've offered above list price in cases where I felt that we would be okay. You don't want to get in a situation where your client, if you're representing the buyer, has spent money on inspection and on an appraisal, and it's not going to appraise for what you offered or anywhere close to it. And there's a chance that the seller may not negotiate. They may say they're not down on the price. So I'm going to present my clients with all of the facts, and I will let them decide where they want to, present their offer. But I do strongly discourage going way over the, what we think will be the value.
The interest rate situation is very much on everybody's mind too. And how would you describe that situation at this time and the future of interest rates, at least in the short term?
I'm crossing my fingers and toes that the rates stay where they are. I just refinanced my home and I have an interest rate below 3%. So like, it's awesome. I have old homes who, they get more house right now because the rate is so low. So, but I do know that, this is an election year and we're approaching probably one of the biggest elections that will take place in our history. And so I'm anticipating a shift in rates after the election, but I'm crossing fingers that it's not, too drastic, and that I hope that we can stay somewhere close to where we are because it's creating a great opportunity for so many people.
So you are president, you're the 2020 president of the Cobb Association of Realtors. Is that, do you function, most of your sales is in Cobb County, or how do you divide your business geographically?
So I everywhere to Atlanta. So I'm pretty much a referral based business. And so, I'm going to go where my clients want to go. So I everywhere.
Well, the price of real estate, single family detached in Cobb County has increased more over the last 5 years than the metro area as a whole. How do you tell people, what do you tell people as the reason for that phenomenon?
Cobb County offers just like it's a full service county. You are, the position of the county is great. You have easy access to several of the amenities. We have the Brave Stadium, I guess it's Truist now. You also have great schools for the most part. So I think the convenience of where Cobb County is located, coupled with the amenities, coupled with the schools, I think it makes it a very desirable place to live.